Welcome to this webinar organized by Doc City in partnership with University of New Orleans. My name is Alessandra. It's a pleasure to meet all of you, and I will be moderating this event on behalf of Doc City today. So I see here that we already have some participants that have started to join us. We will wait a few minutes before officially starting so that everyone has a chance to connect. But in the meantime, feel free to say hi on our chat here on Zoom and also tell us where you're from because we are curious to know. So first of all, I want to thank everyone for joining us and also thank our panelists for being here with us today. And I want to introduce you all to Todd Gitlin, Assistant Director of International Admissions. So together with him, we're going to discover everything you need to know about the undergraduate programs offered by the University of New Orleans and get a taste of the student life in New Orleans. So from cutting-edge programs to a dynamic campus experience, we will delve into the unique features that make the University of New Orleans a top choice for those seeking excellence in education and also an enriching student life. You will also have the possibility to interact with our speaker and ask him a question. So talking about that, I would like to remind you that after the presentation, we will have a Q&A session where you will be able to ask all of your questions to our speaker. So don't be shy. You just have to type them in the Q&A box that you see here on Zoom, and we will go through them at the end of the webinar. Another little piece of information before we start. For those of you interested in receiving a certificate of attendance by Doc City for this free webinar, stay tuned because we will be posting the link to get the certificate at the end of the Q&A session. So I see here that we have some more people that have joined us. Welcome to those who just joined. And I think that we are able to start now. So without further ado, I'm now leaving the floor to our panelist for his presentation. So I will see you in a bit. And in the meantime, enjoy.
Hi, all. Thank you so much, Alessandra, for the great introduction, and thank you all for taking the time to be here. As Alessandra said, my name is Todd Gitlin. I am the Assistant Director of International Admissions at UNO. I have a brief presentation for you, and then afterwards, I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we'll get started. This presentation is going to cover a variety of topics. It's going to cover everything from admission requirements to programs that you may be interested in, to scholarships, and kind of everything in between. I encourage, this is a brief overview of what the University of New Orleans has to offer. And if you're interested after this presentation, I'm more than happy to give you my contact information and answer any other questions that you may have. So if y'all are ready, we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so to start off, I want to briefly talk about the University of New Orleans as an overview. UNO is Southeast Louisiana's only public research university. It's located on Lake Pontchartrain, which on a beautiful 195-acre campus, and we have a total student population of around 8,500. We are ranked as the most diverse university in Louisiana. Students come from all over the country, the United States, from all over Louisiana, and from over 100 international countries to UNO. Some of our international students come from countries such as Bangladesh, Nepal, the UAE, Honduras, and a variety of other countries in between. We have over 50 majors available, as well as the opportunity for students to build their own major. Our student to faculty ratio is 22:1, and our average class size is 27. For me, I think this is really unique and something that was really important to me when I was looking at higher education and going to college. The ability to create meaningful relationships with professors is really strongly encouraged at UNO. And while you may have larger classes than 27, the majority of your classes are going to give you that opportunity to really get to know your professor and really get the individual attention that you need while you're attending UNO. UNO is a numbering among the top 1,000 global universities, UNO has also been consistently ranked as a top 25 national school for graduating with the least amount of debt. Graduates of UNO have the highest average career highest average early career salary compared to all other Louisiana schools. So essentially what this means is students who attend UNO get a really good education at a really good price. I'm going to talk a little bit about the city of New Orleans. New Orleans is the largest metropolitan area in Louisiana. It's known for its multicultural and multilingual heritage. This is evident in everything from the music, we're the birthplace of jazz, to the food, to different festivals such as Mardi Gras and Jazz Fest. We're also known as a top one of the best cities for young professionals. Students who attend UNO have the opportunity to really make the city work for themselves. Our location in the largest city in Louisiana gives students access to internships and volunteer opportunities that can really help them grow and really help put experience on their resume. Additionally, our alumni network boasts over 40,000 alumni in the city. So simply put, we're a driving force within the city. And if students want to get downtown to the heart of the city, the French Quarter, it's easily accessible by bus from UNO campus. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the programs that we offer. UNO has 5 different colleges with a number of majors. To start off, I want to talk about the College of Business Administration. This, from programs like accounting to healthcare management, the College of Business offers an education designed to prepare students to be leaders in their field of study. Our College of Business Education is accredited by the AACSB. This honorable distinction is only given to only 5% of all business colleges worldwide. Additionally, the COBA, this College of Business is also home to its own separate career center. So at this career center, students receive additional individualized attention when it comes to looking for jobs and internships. And it also helps prepare students with interview preparation, resume writing, as well as opportunities to network and advice on certain industries. I want to highlight a couple of programs within UNO's College of Business. To start off with, our accounting program is particularly popular and particularly well regarded. This program is only one of 180 schools globally that has an AACSB accreditation in accounting. This places it within the top 2% of all accounting programs worldwide. And accounting majors at UNO are highly sought after while they're looking for jobs, often with job offers and opportunities coming while they're still in college. And students who take or who major in accounting generally pass the CPA licensing exam at an 80% rate on their first try. Another program of distinction that I want to mention is the Hotel, Restaurant, and Tourism program. This program is the largest in the state of Louisiana. New Orleans as a city is a really good place for the tourism industry. Students in this program have opportunities to find paid internships at a number of very well-known and well-established places, and there's a 97% job placement rate post-college. I'm also so our College of Science is another very popular college at UNO. Our computer science program in particular is worth mentioning. This program offers several concentrations, including bioinformatics and cybersecurity. The cybersecurity program has several certifications that designate it as a program of distinction. And there are a number of opportunities for students to find jobs and internships locally through different companies in New Orleans. And again, thinking about job placement, the job placement rate for students who graduate from cybersecurity is also very high. For students who are interested in taking becoming doctors or going the medical route, UNO has a pre-medical concentration in the biology program. This concentration has a 10% higher acceptance rate into US medical schools compared to the national average. There's a couple of reasons for this. One, the programs or the classes that you take are really designed to ensure that students are prepared to make that transition from undergraduate into medical school. But another reason is that our average class size is 27. So if there's ever a topic that a student is struggling with, or you need a recommendation or something, students really have the individualized or can receive the individualized support that'll help them take that next step. Also within our College of Science is a number of pre-professional programs. So students can come to UNO, take classes, pre-nursing classes, pre-veterinary classes, pre-medical assistant classes, and then transfer to different schools within the state and nationally. This is a really good opportunity for a number of reasons. One, we are a very affordable university, and students can get those prerequisites done in a way that makes attending medical school fairly reasonable and fairly affordable. Our College of Engineering offers a number of concentrations, including civil engineering, electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, and something unique to UNO called the Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering Program. The Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering Program, otherwise known as NAME, is one of 7 schools nationally that focuses on shipbuilding and maritime engineering. So really, if anybody's interested in building boats or oil rigs or anything that sustains on the water, this is a really good opportunity for students to apply. While it is a niche program, we are consistently ranked #1 within it, and students in the NAME program are highly sought after post-college and get a lot of hands-on experience in building maritime vessels. Students have the opportunity to get hands-on experience using a number of tools, including the tow tank, which is pictured here. It's essentially a 150-foot pool that mimics different scenarios in the ocean. So you can test a boat or a model or anything on, in rough water, in shallow water with currents, and a variety of other things. Additionally, there are a number of internships, but both locally and nationally, that UNO students can take part in. So New Orleans is a great place for those pursuing the arts. UNO is a driving creative force within these endeavors. The city of New Orleans is the birthplace of jazz. We have a very big film industry. We're known as the Hollywood of the South, and all of our professors within the School of the Arts are professors who are also professionals within their field. So students really get the opportunity to learn from professionals who have been successful. So I'm going to briefly talk about our film program and our music program. As I said before, New Orleans is known as the Hollywood of the South. We have a number of productions, Hollywood productions, filming in the city and in the state at any given time. So there's a lot of jobs and a lot of opportunities to join the film industry. UNO itself is a part of this industry. We have a soundstage located off campus called the NIMS Center. So a number of Hollywood productions, including movies like Django Unchained and Ray, have filmed there. And students have the opportunity to intern at the NIMS Center and really create connections and jobs that will help them, while they're out of college. Our music program is also very well known and well regarded. New Orleans, as I said before, is the birthplace of jazz, and this is reflected within this major. Our jazz studies program was founded by Alice Marsalis, the legendary jazz pianist, and students within the music major have the opportunity to perform every week at an event called Jazz at the Sandbar, where professional musicians come in and play with student ensembles. Our School of Education has been named a College of Distinction for multiple years running. We offer several concentrations, including elementary education, secondary education, as well as a number of add-on certifications, such as special education or career instruction. Students within the College of Education have the opportunity to not only learn the theories behind education, but also put them into test in fieldwork. We also offer additional support with the praxis, which is the US licensing exam to become a teacher. And students really have an opportunity to hone the craft of education. And then within our College of Liberal Arts, Education, and Human Development, we also offer humanities. This is a large list of programs. I'm only going to touch on a couple. Our International Studies program is particularly well regarded. Students can choose to concentrate in international business, on regions, or on certain themes. The International Studies is also home to our award-winning Model UN club. This club goes to New York every year and always does well. I believe it won 4 or 5 awards last year for both on an individual and on a group basis. In addition, our philosophy program, our English program, and our political science programs all offer pre-law majors. So if you're interested in going into law or becoming a lawyer, this is a really good opportunity to kind of get an understanding of, of law. Okay, UNO is also classified as an R2 research university. This means that there's high research activity at the university, both on a professional level and on a student level. Students from the moment they set foot on campus are encouraged to take part in research. This can be their own research, which they can present at yearly events called Innovate UNO, or they can work in a paid capacity with a professor assisting them with their research. There's a lot of opportunity to really focus on what students are interested in, or to assist in a paid capacity that not only helps a professor, but is a really good way to build resume experience. We also have a number of graduate programs. While this presentation is focused on undergraduate opportunities and degrees, I do just want to mention that this is available. All of our graduate programs have their own admission requirements, but if this is something that you're interested in, it's a really good opportunity to it's a really good opportunity to get a really good degree at a good price. So I'm now going to shift gears to focus on the UNO community and how the university can help support students. So to talk a little bit about the university community, there's a lot to do not only off campus in New Orleans, but on campus as well. We are home to over 100 organizations with a variety of interests that reflect UNO's diverse community. Some of our most popular organizations include VASA, the Vietnamese American Students Association, which puts on a lunar festival event every year that's particularly popular. The Muslim Students Association, which is also a very popular program and does a lot on campus as well as within the community, and a number of other organizations. There are also clubs that are major specific that may assist with scholarships, networking, and so on. One example of this is the American Society of Concrete Engineers. This is for students who are civil engineers. Last year, ASCE went to a national competition and won several awards. They put on this event every year called the Concrete Canoe, where they have to create a canoe that floats made out of concrete. If there's ever anything missing, or if there's something that you're interested in, it's fairly easy to create a new club. You just need to find a couple friends, find a faculty advisor, and the university will give you funding to create the club. In addition to organizations, UNO has a number of traditions, including Swamp Ball, which is a yearly event designed to raise money for scholarships. It's essentially mud volleyball every year. UNO rents a backhoe to dig out our quad and put in volleyball nets, and it's a lot of fun, and it raises money to help go towards scholarships. We also offer a number of intramural sports, so sports for students to play within the community. Some of the sports that we offer are soccer, ping pong, volleyball, and wrestling. So living on campus your first year is required. UNO has a couple of living options that students can take part in. Pontchartrain Hall is suite style. Students who live in Pontchartrain Hall can live by themselves, live with 3 other people, or live with 2 other people. Students would ever only have to share a bathroom with 1 other person, and all students will have their own bedroom, which is really nice. I myself am pretty introverted, and while I like socializing, sometimes I need space for myself. Having your own room allows students to have time to themselves if needed, but also socialize when they want to. Some of the amenities within Pontchartrain Hall include free laundry, study rooms, a convenience store, and community kitchens. Privateer Place is apartment style living, and while it's located on UNO's campus, it's open to all students who attend college in the city of New Orleans. This means that students have the opportunity to meet people not just at UNO, but from a number of colleges, including Tulane University, Loyola University, and Xavier University. It is apartment style, meaning that students have their own kitchen within their unit, and they can choose to live by themselves, with 2 other people, or with 3 other people. Some of the amenities here include a pool, volleyball courts, and a hot tub. Students who live on campus are required to have a meal plan. The meal plans can be used at UNO's cafeteria called the Galley. The Galley is buffet style and offers everything from pizza to vegetarian options to halal options as well. There are also a number of restaurants and eateries on campus that students can use their meal plans for. So generally, college is a time of transition and can be challenging for students incoming. Luckily, UNO has a number of supports and resources to ensure that students are successful in their endeavors. The Learning Resource Center offers a number of resources for students who want or need assistance on their schoolwork. Some of these include peer tutoring, 24/7 online assistance, and they also run a number of centers on campus, including the Writing Center, where students can go to get assistance, if they're writing a paper, and the Math Center, where students can go if they need assistance on, their math classes. The Career Center is also a really good resource. This center focuses on internships and helping students find jobs. Students can use this service to get feedback for resumes, prepare for interviews, take headshots, or pick out an interview for free through the UNO Career Closet. So students can come in and they can choose, there's a number of business casual outfits in the Career Closet. Students can come in, choose an outfit that works for them so they can look as prepared as they feel when going into an interview. We also offer a fitness center. This The fitness center includes a pool, a weight room, an indoor track, and offers classes such as yoga. The fitness center is free for all students enrolled at UNO. One other program that I want to mention is the Intensive English Language Program. This is for students who want to improve their English language learning skills. It offers several languages of English classes from beginners to advanced, and a number of classes, everything from reading, writing, listening, and conversation. Classes are about 20 hours per week. They're 8-week sessions, and there are 5 start dates per year: January, March, June, August, and October. We also offer short-term programs for groups. And if you apply to IELP, they'll assist you with everything from applications to assisting with immigration, to helping students find housing, as well as insurance. IELP also provides a pathway for conditional admission to university. Upon completion of IELP, students can apply to UNO and get in as long as they meet those requirements. The IELP program is a separate admissions process from the university. If you're interested in applying for this program, you can do so at the website ielp.uno.edu. So now I'm going to talk about the application process. It's fairly straightforward. This slide is just a general idea of what it takes to be admitted. I'm going to be going into further detail about undergraduate admissions in previous slides, but essentially the first step to apply is to submit a UNO application. This can be done on UNO's website at apply.uno.edu or through the Common App. Once you've submitted your application and set up your application portal, you're going to send supporting documents, which we'll be going over in subsequent slides, to transcripts@uno.edu. And then you'll also send in test scores as well. So as I said, the application checklist is fairly straightforward. You need to apply, you need to send official transcripts, you need to send official test scores, and then you need to submit supplemental documents such as a financial disclosure form and a variety of other things. For first-time freshmen, students need a 2.5 core GPA as calculated by UNO admissions. Students need to meet a standardized test score of a 19 on ACT Math, which is a 510 on the SAT, an 18 on an 18 on ACT English, which is a 500 on SAT Math, as well as taking an English aptitude test. Students need a 550 on the paper-based TOEFL, a 79 on the IBT, a 6.5 on the IELTS, and a 100 on the Duolingo. If a student meets the standardized test requirements, they don't necessarily need to submit an English aptitude test. However, my recommendation is to submit as much documentation as possible. In addition to the test scores, we also need official high school transcripts. And just to note, UNO will consider documents official only if they're sent from a vendor or from the school. We cannot mark documentation as official if it's received from the student. UNO considers a transfer student anyone who's attended university prior to applying to UNO. What this means is if you've attended university, or you're still in the past but dropped out, or you've attended university, or you're attending university currently, you would be considered a transfer student. In order to be admitted as a transfer, students need a minimum 2.25 cumulative GPA. 24 hours of university level credits, including having passed a college level math class and a college level English class, as well as an English aptitude test. All foreign transcripts must be evaluated by a NASIS accredited evaluation organization. This includes organizations such as World Evaluation Services, IEE, or SpanTran. And then just a little bit about our cost of attendance and additional financial information. In order for a student to be issued the I-20, they need to show around $34,000. This amount does not necessarily reflect the total cost that a student will pay. Due to our tuition and fee structures, this number is the highest amount that they'll need to pay, but it's more of an individualized thing, and this just represents the total differential of a number of scenarios. International students are also eligible for a number of institutional scholarships. This includes the Homer HIT, which is a full scholarship to the university. In order to be eligible for the Homer HIT, students must have a 3.5 unweighted GPA, a 32 on the ACT, and successfully complete an interview. There are also a number of deadlines that students need to be prepared for. So if you're submitting an application for the spring, you need to submit by October 1st. If you're applying for the summer, you need to submit for April. Or if you're applying for June or for the fall, you need to submit by June 1st. This is really to ensure that visas, or to make sure that students are able to make visa appointments. Yeah, so that's all I have for you. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email. My email is tcgitlin@uno.edu. I'm also more than happy to set up Zoom meetings if that's easier. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. And
So, hello again, everyone. So first of all, I want to thank our panelist Todd for his thorough presentation. And I see here that we have some questions already from the participants, actually a dozen. And I'd like to remind everyone that there is still time to ask questions. The important thing that you have to do is that if you have a question, you can type it in the Q&A box here. So I'd say, let's start with the first one, shall we? So first question is by Shumaila, and the question is this university giving nursing majors or bachelors in nursing?
Yeah, that's a great question. So UNO does not offer a bachelor's in nursing. What we do offer is a pre-professional program for pre-nursing. Through this program, students spend 2 years at UNO, get the prerequisite requirements, and then will transfer to a school that does have a bachelor's of nursing. This can be most commonly the LSU Health and Sciences Center School, which is also located in New Orleans. There are a couple of advantages to this. One, the program that we offer is very thorough. It really helps prepare students to take that next step. But UNO is, a very affordable school. So on the short or on the long end, you're saving money for the first 2 years before you transfer to get your bachelor's of nursing.
Thank you so much, Todd, for your answer. So next question is, how is your network with companies composed? Can I get an internship through the university?
Yeah, that is also a great question. So as I said before, New Orleans is the largest city in Louisiana. This means that there are lots of opportunities for internships, as well as potentially job opportunities. In terms of internships and partnerships, this is done on a department by department basis. So some departments may have connections at different companies. it just kind of depends. Beyond that, there are a number of internship opportunities through the UNO Career Center. And if you're interested in business, there are more specialized internship opportunities through the College of Business Career Center.
Perfect, thank you. So moving on to the next question. This is from Danica, and she says, what's the difference between computer science and computer engineering?
Yeah, also a great question. Thanks so much, Danica. So the way that I always think of it is computer science composes of software. So it's more programming, it's more, working with the computer, whereas computer engineering is more the software side. So it would be setting up, I guess, processors, setting up different things. So I guess computer engineering is more hands-on and more designed for like the building aspect of infrastructure, whereas computer science is set up, is really covers like the coding aspects of IT.
Perfect, thank you. So we have another question from one of the participants that wants to apply to civil engineering. And the question is, can GRE be waived for applicants in some cases?
So the GRE is mostly for graduate students. The majority of our master's programs do not require the GRE. I'm not sure off the top of my head if civil engineering does or does not offer it. But if it does, generally it's required in order for an admission.
Okay, thank you so much. And then regarding the scholarship, we have another question here, which is, do you have athletic scholarships available, and how do I apply for one?
Yeah, so the University of New Orleans is a Division I university, meaning that the majority of our students who compete at UNO are there on scholarships. Because we're Division I, there's a whole process that a student needs to go through. The best place to start is going to the NCAA website. The NCAA is the governing body around college athletics. And then my recommendation would be to set up a student portal. The athletic scholarships that are available are different than the institutional scholarships that are available. And if you're interested in learning more about that, my recommendation would be going to the UNO athletics website, finding the sport that you're interested in, and contacting the coach to see what the process is.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Todd. So we have another question regarding the scholarships.
Yeah.
So this person says, first of all, is there a scholarship for international students regarding the program of electrician engineering? And then some more questions, which are, is there a postgraduate work possibility after graduation? And also, is there pickup or assistance at the airport for international students? And then in general, this person asks, how is the scholarship, how are the scholarship terms and conditions?
Yeah, all great questions. I'm gonna start with the scholarships. So all of our undergraduate scholarships are based on GPA and test scores. For undergraduate students, there are no like specific electrical engineering scholarships. It's really for any student who meets those requirements. That being said, there are no additional applications needed for scholarships. If you meet the scholarship requirement, you're going to be given a scholarship. In terms of postgraduate work, there are some opportunities. International students who attend UNO attend on an F1 visa, and there's opportunities to take STEM OPT options, which are opportunities for students to stay a couple of years after if they're in a STEM field, and potentially take classes as well. In terms of postgraduate opportunities and visa opportunities, UNO's Office of International Students and Scholars are really good with this stuff. But visas post graduation are generally up to the a student's employer more than anything. And then in terms of pickup, that is a great question. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure. UNO's or the airport at New Orleans is fairly close to UNO. I'm not sure if there's anything coordinated, but if you want to take my email and send me an email after, I'd be more than happy to find out.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Todd, for your answer. Then we have another question here from a recent graduate in mechanical engineering, interested in a master's degree in mechanical or naval architecture. And he asks if there is a possibility for him to work in teaching or participate in a research program.
Yeah, so there are, UNO does offer a master's within engineering, particularly within mechanical and naval engineering. If a student is interested for intern or like research opportunities as well as scholarships, that's given through UNO's graduate school as well as through the program itself. Unfortunately, I don't have any say around who receives those scholarships, but there are definitely opportunities for graduate assistantships, research assistantships, and partial funding for a student to attend UNO.
Perfect, thanks. So we still have a couple of questions that are coming in. So the next one is, do I need an English certificate if I studied in English? And can I apply before getting the test results and then get it later and then submit it later? Sorry.
No problem. Yeah, so UNO cannot accept MOIs, so mediums of instruction. Students need to show some sort of test to prove proficiency. This can be the IELTS, this can be the Duolingo, English proficiencies like that. UNO can also accept standardized tests such as the SAT and ACT as proof of English proficiency. UNO also offers a free test for international students called the Accuplacer. This can help meet that English proficiency requirement. In order to qualify for the Accuplacer, students need to submit an application as well as submit an official transcript. Yeah, and then in terms of getting a certificate, UNO cannot make a decision until all documentation is needed. So in order for us to make a decision, we need a transcript as well as English proficiency test scores and or standardized test scores.
Perfect, thank you, Pat. So talking about the application process, another question is it possible to get an application fee waiver?
Yeah, so all applications for fall 2004 for undergraduates currently have their fees waived. It doesn't cost anything to submit an application. So if that's something that you're interested in doing, I highly encourage you to go ahead and submit an application.
Okay, perfect. And then talking about the payment and the fees, one question is, can I pay in installments and how is the payment divided?
Yeah, so payment is divided per semester. So generally, there are 3 semesters that students can attend: the fall semester, the spring semester, and the summer semester. And really, the summer semester is kind of optional if that's something that you want to take, but you can set up a payment plan to make a monthly payment through the UNO Bursar's office. Yeah.
And also another question regarding the costs by David is, what are the costs of living in the dorm?
Off the top of my head, so the total cost of attendance for UNO for I-20 purposes is $34,000. I believe living expenses makes up about, sorry, just give me a second. I think it's about half or a little more than half of that. So I think for the year it's $18,000 to $19,000. Now, this is a rough estimate. The actual number is based on a number of factors, including where you're living, how many people you're living with, the kind of meal plan that you get, and so on and so forth. So as a general rule, that's what you can expect, but there's going to be some variation with that.
Perfect, thank you. And moving on to the next question. The question is, how many weeks does it take to receive the application results?
So it depends. Generally, what the process is you submit an application, you submit all of your documentations, and then only when we receive all documentation can we make a decision. If we receive all that documentation, UNO works on what's called rolling admissions, meaning that we'll make a decision and notify the student right away. So once we receive all documentation, students can expect an answer within 2 to 4 weeks.
Great, thank you so much. So also talking about the application process, another question is, do I need to submit a letter of recommendation in the application?
You do not. So UNO can make a decision just based on GPA and test scores. However, it's always great to learn a little bit more about the students that are applying to UNO. So if that's something that you want to submit, I highly recommend it. I really like reading those recommendations. It gives a lot of insight into who the applicant is as a person.
Thank you. Then another question from a participant is, do you have 100% scholarship for international students? And if so, on what basis?
Yeah, so we do. It's called the Homer Hit Scholarship. Students who get the Homer Hit must meet very specific requirements. The HIT is our most competitive scholarship. I think only around 20 to 30 are given it every year. In order to be eligible for the HIT, students need to have a 3.5 unweighted GPA on a 4.0 scale, a 32 on the ACT. Translated, that's a 1420 on the SAT, and then go through an interview process. And then once they go through the interview process, if they're chosen, they'll be given, they'll be notified that they've received it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Todd. So we still have a few questions left, and one is from Florencia. She says, I am Uruguayan and I speak Spanish. Can I take courses in Spanish, or is everything in English?
So the majority of our class, or all of our undergraduate classes are in English. If you're interested in brushing up on your English, I would highly recommend the IELP program. This is kind of a good soft landing for students who are unsure about their English language proficiency or just want to get a brush up on it. Yeah.
Okay, and next question, another question from Lenitsa. And the question is, how many years is the engineering program and what's the cost of it?
Yeah, so the undergraduate engineering program is 4 years, which is the equivalent of 120 credits. The cost of attendance for the undergraduate program is $34,000. The master's engineering program is a 2-year program. And again, for I-20 purposes, the cost is $34,000.
Okay, thank you. So another question from Solo. And the question is it a must to do an ACT or SAT test, or can I apply with another qualification such as level in my case?
Yeah, so UNO requires some sort of test to show college level readiness in English writing and math. It doesn't necessarily need to be the SAT or the ACT. Students can prove their proficiency through English language tests such as Duolingo or IELTS. But we do need to show we cannot admit a student unless they meet proficiency. Another test that UNO offers for this is the AccuPlacer. This is, again, a free online test that students can take, offered through UNO. In order for an applicant to qualify for that, we need to see a completed application as well as an official transcript.
Okay, thank you so much. And next question is from and the question is, may I know what a GPA score mean, and how can we do as a how can I do if in my country that doesn't exist as a concept?
Yeah, so the GPA stands for grade point average. It's a way for us to calculate how a student, or I guess for lack of a better word, the the grades of a student. I guess an equivalency would be if a student, is in a country with the British system, they score like an 80 to 100, that would be considered an A. And generally what we'll do is we receive the transcript as is. I take a look at it. I have a resource that I use to make those equivalencies, and that's how we determine GPA.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Todd. So we have a participant who is interested in the PhD course in software engineering. And the question is not very specific, so I suppose this person wants to know a little bit more about the program.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if this is hardware or software. I can talk a little bit about both. UNO offers a master's in computer science, which is fairly popular and very well regarded. We also offer a doctorate in applied sciences. So students can choose to take this in a number of subjects, including electrical engineering, and then go on to get their doctorate in that, which gives them a lot of opportunities for to conduct research or to find job opportunities as a professor, if that's something a student is interested in.
Thank you so much, Todd. And then another question regarding the payment. This person wants to know if the 34,000 payment is per year or it comprehends all the 4 years.
Yeah, that's a great question. The best response that I'm going to give is neither. This $34,000 is really only for I-20 purposes. As I said previously, the way that our tuition and fee structure works is dependent on a number of factors, including the number of classes that a student takes, the type of classes that a student takes, as well as where they live, how many people they live with, the number of meal plans. So this 34,000 just represents the ceiling of what a student can expect to pay if they're attending UNO per year. There are also other ways to reduce the cost of attendance to UNO. Generally, while students are required to live on campus at least for 1 year, students can choose to live off campus to save in housing. They can choose, prior to, or, after that year to not have a meal plan. They can figure out different classes. So that number does not represent what a student is going to pay, only what a student needs to show in order for UNO to issue an I-20 to start the visa process. I know that was a complicated answer. I'm sorry I couldn't be more clear on it.
Okay, thank you, Todd. And then next question is, what do your international scholarships cover on expenses?
Yeah, so our scholarships will cover any cost of attendance. So the way that our fee bill works is will take the number of classes a student takes, where they're living, add that to their fee bill, and then the scholarship will reduce by a certain amount what a student has to pay on that fee bill.
Great, thank you. And we have another question from Solo. And the question is, for the program in engineering for undergraduates, do you offer cooperative programs or work integrated learning?
So that is a great question. A lot of our programs are hands-on and make use of a lot of laboratory and research work. In terms of co-op programs, I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I'd be more than happy to find out. And if you want to give me your contact information after this, I can definitely let you know.
Great, thank you. And then we have a question from Samuel. He would love to be an international student at UNO and to study civil engineering. And he asks, can I be admitted with just a high school certificate?
Yeah, so as an undergraduate student, you're admitted to the university, and then regardless of the program that you take, for higher level engineering courses, there's a class at UNO that you need to pass in order to be eligible to take additional classes. But if you have, if a student has a transcript, has the test scores, and they meet the requirements, we can admit them to the university.
Okay, thank you, Tad. And now we have our final question from Shumaila. She says, is there any possibility of transferring credits from my previous education from my 2 years in nursing? Because she wants to move into the USA for her bachelor in nursing. And also she asks, are there any scholarship opportunities in the university regarding the medical sector?
So these are all great questions. UNO, Shamila, if you do apply to UNO, you would apply as a transfer student. And then you would need to submit a course-by-course NASIS accredited evaluation. The reason why we ask for this is because it gives us an idea of the classes that you've taken, the grades that you've gotten, and then we can transfer over a certain number of credits. So generally what this means is we can accept up to 60 credits, so about 2 years worth, as long as they apply. Yeah, so it is possible. And then in terms of scholarship opportunities, again, all of our scholarships, all students are eligible to receive scholarships regardless of the majors that they're in. In terms of medical specific scholarships, there's none that I'm aware of, but there may be opportunities through the department to receive scholarships that I just don't know about.
Okay, perfect. And we have a last minute question. And the question is, how can I forward my contact details so that we can communicate further into details with UNO? If I may take this one, I want to tell everyone that after this presentation, you will receive an email by Doxity with a link to the recording of the session so that you can watch it again, and also all the important contacts so that you can get in touch with the University of New Orleans. And I don't know, Todd, if you want to add on to that.
Yeah, if anybody's interested in emailing me, my email is tcgitlin@uno.edu. I know, we've only had the opportunity to speak for an hour and that there was a lot of information given. I also understand that this is a stressful, hard process. If there's anything I can do to assist, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help however I can.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Todd. That was our last question. So again, thank you for your presentation and also thank you for all the answers. And I want to thank everyone for joining us and also for all of your questions. So before we say goodbye, I would like to remind everyone interested in receiving a certificate of attendance by Doxity that you can request it by clicking on the link that I sent just now on the chat. And again, I would like to remind you that you will receive in the following days an email with the recording of the session and also all the important contacts to get in touch with UNO. So before we say goodbye, I would like to ask Todd if he has one final message to say goodbye to our participants.
Yeah, I just want to thank you again for taking the time to listen to me speak. I know that there's a lot of other things you could be doing, and I just really want to express my sincere appreciation that you took the time to hear me talk about the University of New Orleans.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Todd. So thank you for joining us, and I hope to see you again in the next webinar organized by Doxity. Bye, everyone, and have a nice day.